Today is primary election day here in Ohio, and there are some big races and issues on the ballot for folks here in the Miami Valley. Today, Ohioans are going to be casting their ballots and, of course, making their voices heard. Dayton 24/7 now is your election day headquarters, covering all of the angles. We actually have a team of reporters around the Miami Valley and even the state. First, though, we want to send things out to Kasha Hancock this afternoon, who spoke to the Board of Election on how the process has been going and voter turnout. Kasha.
Yes, I caught up with Jeff Rezabek, the director of the Montgomery County Board of Elections, and he says that they haven't had any problems this morning, and also voter turnout was pretty smooth. The Montgomery County Board of Elections says they've been planning for this election for 6 months. They've been working hard to ensure that all people can enjoy the process of voting and making themselves available if people need assistance. Although at the time numbers were low, he encourages residents to come out, having until 7:30 to cast their votes. Here's what he had to say.
Well, we do have some areas, locations in a sense of like the Centerville school area is having a little bit higher turnout than the rest of the county simply because they have a school levy. In each of those where there are contested primary races, those areas are also tagging a little higher than the overall average, about 5% at this time.
Again, you do have a little over an hour before polls close, and if anyone is interested in learning how to figure out their proper voting location and what to do with an absentee ballot, you can visit the web version of this story on Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Kasha, thank you. Now, the big race here in Ohio, the Republican primary for U.S. Senate, Secretary of State Frank LaRose up against State Senator Matt Dolan and businessman Bernie Moreno. The winner of today's primary will run against Democratic incumbent Senator Sherrod Brown in November's general election. Senator Brown, of course, will be running for a 4th term. And several Miami Valley school districts have levies on the ballot, as the Board of Elections just mentioned. Tonight, though, Lydia Bice is focusing on Centerville and Tip City schools. So, Lydia, what exactly are they asking voters to approve?
So Centerville has a $3.9 million operating levy on the ballot that would generate $11.2 million for the district. So if approved, funds from that levy will help the district maintain their current educational programs, but also upgrade things like mental health and safety services. Now, if it's not approved, then district staff could see some cuts.
Then we would have to implement the second part of our reduction plan. That's our phase 2, and that would be some additional cuts to positions.
Now in Tip City, there is an $87 million bond on the ballot there, and that's for a brand new pre-K through 8 building in the district.
I'd say it's just overall, it provides us a 21st century learning environment that we don't have now. And again, health, safety, and well-being of the kids and staff is a priority.
Now, I'm going to be monitoring the results of those 2 school levies that were on the ballot today, and we'll have those results for you later tonight on Fox 45 at 10 and ABC 22 at 11. Back to you.
Lydia, thank you. We're also monitoring key issues in local Democratic races on the ballot in Montgomery County. Gwen Falloon live tonight following these races for us. Gwen.
Elise, I'm here at West Social, where supporters of Issue 6 will be gathering for a watch party in just
The aim for his team is to lend a hand in any way they can.
I know that our parents are dealing with a lot of things like, insurance companies and really just stable housing, in the immediate future. So if we can take the burden of, taking care of their children during the day, I think that would be very helpful for them.
And that was Carly Van Cleve reporting to Dayton 24/7 now. Of course, we are teaming up with the Red Cross and iHeartRadio to help those impacted by last week's tornadoes. If you would like to help, scan the QR code on your screen to support the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. You can also find the link at Dayton247now.com. We're continuing to follow today's primary election as polls come to a close within about an hour and a half from now. Coming up, we're going to have a look at the Montgomery County Commission race.
And another cold front is going to be making its way in, so not quite feeling like spring for our first day. That's coming up. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
The last hours of winter brought fresh snowfall to Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Snow is also expected in the upper Midwest later this week. Overnight freeze warnings across the South left flowers like this in central Alabama covered in frost. And you might call the last sunrise of winter in Bluff City, Tennessee, a fiery experience. Happy spring.
Listen to Off the Radar, new episodes every Tuesday. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
We're continuing our election coverage tonight, keeping a watch right now on the Montgomery County Commission races. 2 seats will be open and then decided on in November. Jenna Lee Borick is breaking down the races, plus what this could mean for the primaries and beyond.
Yeah, Elise, we know 1 seat will go to either Republican candidate Mary McDonald or incumbent Democrat Deborah Lieberman, but that won't be decided until November. For the primaries, in today's primaries, 2 Democrats, current Commissioner Judy Dodge and Yusuf El Zain, are battling it out, and 2 Republicans, Huber Heights Councilwoman Kate Baker and former Dayton police officer Jordan Wortham, are running against each other. I spoke with 3 of the candidates about what they believe some of the important issues are to tackle in Montgomery County.
A lot of it is the homeless. There's no question about it. It's not going away. And one of the problems is these people cannot find affordable housing.
The biggest thing still remains the abandoned homes. That's very important to me.
I've worked in a hospital setting, so I know the difference of Medicaid and Medicare. No one else, none of the other candidates on the slate have that lens.
So for that 2nd seat, the Republican winner from tonight will go against the Democratic winner from tonight in November. And we'll keep you updated with how those races are looking all throughout tonight. Back to you.
Jenna Lee, thank you. And as we get these results rolling in tonight, we'll be sure to let you know first, of course. You can get our alerts sent to your phone by downloading the Dayton 24/7 Now app. It's easy to do so. Take out your phone, scan the QR code right now that you see on your screen. That'll take you to your app store where you can download it for free. Well, live look right now from our Eco Plumbers Sky Cam out there. The sun is shining and it sure looks like it should be a lot warmer than what it really is out there.
Yeah, the sun was nice to see, because if we didn't have that, it would have been even more unpleasant. But the wind was not a nice thing for today, although it was nice to see a little bit of that sunshine. More sunshine tomorrow, but I did want to alert everyone of a statewide tornado drill that is going on for tomorrow. Sirens are expected to go off at 9:50 a.m. for tomorrow for that statewide tornado drill. So don't be alarmed tomorrow if you do hear those tornado sirens going off for the late morning hours. It is going to be a quiet day. We will see more sunshine in the forecast tomorrow, but for right now we have mostly clear skies. We actually have a couple of cold fronts that will quickly swing their way through and bringing us just a few clouds along with it, as well as these breezy conditions. But it is going to get a little chillier, so we'll wake up into the 30s tomorrow, only in the 40s for tomorrow afternoon, still with that sunshine. Heading into our Thursday, we'll start out cold and in the 20s. A little bit cloud cover streaming through by our Thursday afternoon. High temperatures potentially staying in the 30s. Right now I have lower 40s in the forecast. Either way, it's going to be a chilly one. And then by Friday, our next weather maker approaches us. Temperatures begin to climb back up into the 50s, but rain will also be making its way in too. So I'll talk more about that, and I'll have a look at our 7-day coming up.
Time now for the Bob's Discount Furniture Sports Desk. In addition to the busy activity of primary day, most of the college basketball world is focused on Dayton for the first 4 of the NCAA tournament. Matt Digby is live outside the University of Dayton Arena right now. Matt, it is hard to believe the big dance is already officially here.
Yeah, Elise, you talk about the next 3 weeks. That's what every college basketball fan has been looking forward to since the beginning of the season and all season long. We have 2 games tonight, starting with a matchup of teams that won their conference tournaments, Wagner and Howard. They have never won an NCAA tournament, a combined 5 previous appearances in the NCAA tournament, but either the Seahawks or Bison will win their first ever game in the dance. That game just about to start in the next 15 minutes or so. And then an at-large game tonight, Colorado State taking on Virginia. Virginia, one of the teams that has been a perennial presence in the tournament. Of course, a couple years ago, they made history being the first 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed. The very next year, they rebounded, won the national championship. I actually spoke with a couple of Colorado State players about that, given the history that Virginia has made, both good and bad, over the last couple of years, and they say they are excited for the challenge. So 2 games tonight, 2 tomorrow, as we get set for the start of the NCAA tournament. Live at University of Dayton Arena, I'm Matt Digby.
First 4, always exciting. And speaking of the University of Dayton, they held an event for a permanent memorial to honor the victims of the 2019 Oregon District mass shooting. Community members were able to place pieces to the Seed of Life mosaic. Now, each piece represents the community coming together to heal piece by piece.
It's a bittersweet moment, you know, because we know what this memorial is being built for, but also I hope that we can make those 9 proud and just our community.
The permanent memorial will be installed in the Oregon District this coming August to commemorate the 5th anniversary of the tragedy. Well, children who have access to books are more successful in school and beyond. That's why Dayton 24/7 Now is partnering with Reading is Fundamental and our parent company Sinclair for Sinclair Cares, supporting children's literacy. Scan this QR code to join the virtual book drive. Just $4 can put a new book into the hands of a child.
Well, windy conditions across the area today. Those winds will calm a bit as we head through the rest of this evening, so not quite as breezy overnight. Still could see some gusts, maybe up to 15-20 miles per hour, but still a breezy one tomorrow. Winds will be gusting 25, maybe even up to 30 miles per hour, especially for our northeastern counties. And that's with some colder air in place. So tomorrow is just going to be a pretty cold day, even with some sunshine. Expected to feel even colder than what we had out there for today. And then it's not until Thursday. It will be chilly, but at least not quite as windy as we head into our Thursday afternoon. Now, temperature wise, next several days, it's going to be cold below normal. We'll have some 50s mixed in there. 53 on Friday, and by Sunday we'll start to see a warm up. 50s on Sunday, and then I do have some 60s in the forecast for our 7-day as we start off next week, so I'll take a look at that coming up here in just a bit.
We'll be right back after the break. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
the Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Well, the first of its kind here in the Miami Valley, a new kitchen resource has opened for food entrepreneurs. Tage Joshi shows us how the 6 888 Kitchen Incubator helps support small food businesses here in Dayton.
It's called the 6 888 Kitchen Incubator, and that's exactly what it is, a place for caterers or at-home bakers or any sort of food entrepreneur to have a place to grow their business into something more. This is something that just opened up in the last few weeks, and it's a great community resource. As you can see behind me, they have lots of kitchen space, and they have about 6 finished different booths where clients can rent the space out. The staff here told me the goal here is to help different organizations, maybe if they are a small food entrepreneur, to grow their business with having those large-scale resources. The first food incubator of its kind here in the Miami Valley. For example, one of the clients here is the team at Indulge. They're making some fresh beignets for us right now, and here is a cool part of that story. Of course, Nakia here from Indulge was an at-home baker before she was able to rent this space. Because she's renting this space, she's able to use a big commercial fryer and make beignets, a minor example of how this place is growing. So if you or anybody you know is looking for a community resource like this, you can reach out to their team here at 6 888 to see how you can rent a space. Plus, they are nonprofit, so if you're looking to donate your time or your money, you can go to their website to learn how you can support them. For now, though, back to you in the studio.
Well, spring officially begins this evening at 11:06 p.m., which is an interesting time. You may think, why such a specific time for the vernal equinox to begin? And the reason why is because of the sun's rays directly over the equator. So the Earth is on a tilt on its axis. So during the vernal equinox, the sun's rays are directly over the equator, and we start to tilt more towards the sun, at least the northern hemisphere, bringing us those longer days until the longest day of the year, which of course is that summer solstice. So happy spring to everyone. Not quite feeling like spring though. We have chilly weather in the forecast. We got mid 40s for our Wednesday, lower 40s for our Thursday. Now showers return on Friday, with temperatures back into the 50s. Good news is by next week, we do start to see those temperatures climb just a little bit more, back into those 60s. We'll start to see those showers make their way back into the area as well by next Tuesday, but it does turn a little bit more mild. Until then, not quite like spring, more like winter over these next couple of days.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, right.
A little disappointed, but definitely not shocked. We'll keep it here. We have